Hey there, it's Kimberly again with Knit for Brains. Just kind of closing out my day, giving you a little bit of background as to what we're doing. So, as I mentioned before, the Brit, aka my husband, the love of my life, we are going on a road trip. 3 weeks, 21 days. We're going to be gone, and we're leaving from our home in San Diego all the way going up to Seattle. And we're doing it in our electric car. So the whole thing is electric. And so I thought, what a great idea to, be going to visit some yarn stores and giving some, a little bit of love to our LYSs along the way. Well, so best laid plans didn't work out quite as I anticipated. Number one, unfortunately, makes me so sad that a lot of these stores had to close as a result of COVID. So I was able to find several and I went from Santa Barbara. There's a store in Santa Barbara, no longer there, Knit and Stitch. There's a store in Monarch Bay, just outside, called Monarch Knitting, which looks like it's still open. Unfortunately, the hours that they were open didn't coincide when we were going to be there. There was a couple other places. There was one in San Luis Obispo called the Adobe. Tried to get there, but again, the hours didn't coincide. They were closed on like a Monday or Tuesday when we were there, so that was unfortunate. But quite a few of them I found were actually closed as a result of COVID, which made me sad because, when you have a yarn store, you want to be able to touch and feel and squish and, and it's never quite as good when it's online. However, I honor the fact that you can still stay open, even with an online presence, during COVID. So for those stores that at least were able to stay open with an online presence, I love you, and I'm very happy that you were able to stay with us. However, we are in Crescent City, which is just south of the Oregon border. So we basically have gone the entire California coast. And we're going up the coast. We're not going through the central part. We're going that in the second half of the trip. And I found my very first store today, which was called By Your Hands, or By My Hands. And I was so excited to actually find her that we went in. Her name is Lori. She was beautiful. She was so sweet. A little surprised, I think, that she had some stranger that she didn't know walking in her store as if I had found it. She was a little perplexed as how I found it. That was okay. Her beautiful puppy by the name of, I believe it was Tessa, had a really nice selection into quilting quilting, so a lot of fabrics, a lot of notions and things like that, as well as a really nice selection of yarn. And she said that she's got more people coming in for yarn than she does for her quilting. So she's actually switching the sides. So what she has now for her notions and quilting is actually going to be more for her yarn, and what she has for the yarn is going to be more for the quilting. So the sides of the different rooms were different, but you can see here in the video where I was able to go into the yarn store. Hey there, Kimberly here with Knit for Brains. So we're on this road trip, and I've been kind of remiss because I've been trying so hard to find yarn stores that are open, that haven't closed as a result of COVID. And then with us traveling back and forth, finding ones that have been open when we're here. But mostly it's just been because COVID. And they have online stores, which is great. I'm really happy. But here we are in Crescent City, California, which is like the last city before you get to the Oregon border. And I found a store that is open. It's called By My Hand. So we're going to pop inside and take a look around, and we're going to send them some love to our LYS. Okay, so we're here, and it's a big quilting section that they have. I don't do any quilting, but I have a lot of friends that do, but they do have a beautiful yarn section. And so we're going to do a little bit of, and some of my favorite brands, Bamboo Pop. So I'm going to turn you around. You guys can come shopping with me. Ooh, so I do love Bamboo Pop. I even have this particular color right there. That's lovely. I think I'm going to try to see if they have any mini skeins that I can work on with my, these would work nicely. These would work really nicely on my scarf that I'm doing. And these are fun. Universal yarns, we do love those. So this store, as I said, is in Crescent City. She's got a huge selection. It's always just nice to find some really, ooh, that's pretty. Angora and lace. Ooh, I haven't seen this before. That is lovely. So it's Angora and it's lace. Wisdom yarns. I haven't seen that one before. Oh, and here's a real pretty color. We might just have to walk out with one of these. So this is 462 yards, 50% merino superwash. And what else is in here? I'm assuming there's some Angora. Merino. Oh, there it is. 20% Angora, 30% nylon. Yes, I do believe you're coming home with me. Look at this adorable little. So Lori is the owner of this wonderful little store that I'm so happy to come across. And we do love ourselves some Barocco. That's very pretty. And some bamboo sock. I do have this. I do love this one. This is that bamboo sock yarn. Oh, that's nice. Which colors? This is really pretty. I don't know that I have. So this is, that's actually a really nice price too. So this is Wildflowers. Yeah. Here we go. It is 55% bamboo and 37% cotton. Okay, and that's a lot of your 492. Once again, that's a really good price. Okay. Well, very good thing that the Brit decided to stay in the car. Not smart on his part, but a very, very good thing that he did so. Because it gives me a little bit more time to be shopping through here. Okay. Goodies we got. She was so lovely. So the store is called By My Hand. By My Hand. And of course, yes, we got some lovelies in here. Little shout out for love. I'm very happy. So this again is in Crescent City. So loved what I got. Was so excited to meet her, to meet the owner, Lori, in person. She was just lovely. And I got to show you what I got. So, and they had fantastic prices. So they do have an online presence. They actually have a Facebook presence, which I'll list here in the comments below. But I did find this Whisper Lace, which I haven't actually tried before. This one is by a company called Fiber Natra. It's called Whisper Lace, and it is 70% wool, superwash wool, and 30% silk. Is this color not beautiful? It's called Mauve, color that I really enjoy. And this is 440 yards, so quite a bit. It is a weight of one, so it's a nice, like a lace weight. But this was like $10.95, which is a lot of yarn for $10.95. Then I got this complementary color, so you see the two between. Lovely. This was also $10.95 for 440 yards. This one is called Passion Flower. And this line, Whisper Lace, is from Universal Yarn. Again, it is 70% wool, 30% silk. Really, really nice and yummy and squishy. I loved the model. If you know me, you know I love the model and the different color transitions that go through it. So I thought these two would go really beautiful together. So I bought these. Not sure what I'm going to do with them, but as you know, I always figure something to do with them. So giving some love to my local yarn store in Crescent City, I got these guys. One of the things that I learned about dating and being married to a Brit is that tea makes everything better. So the Brit just brought me a little cup of tea with milk, just the way the Brits do it, and it's really lovely. So I found this local yarn store today. It's called By My Hand. I'm going to include her address below in the comments. They're located in Crescent City. I don't think she's got a website, but she does have a Facebook page. So if you're in the area, anywhere between like California, Nevada, California, Oregon, you're traveling up through that area. She used to have a store in Brookings, and they've moved it down into Crescent City. Really, really lovely woman. Very, very nice supply. She has a lot of universal yarns. That seems to be kind of her her mainstay brand, but really, really nice selection. So it's called By My Hand. So as I showed you, I got these two guys here. And this, and you know I do love my mysteries, she had these cakes. Look, this is so beautiful and squish. You see that? So here's the deal. There's no tag inside here. So neither myself nor her, Lori, could understand or know what this actually was. She didn't remember what this was. In feeling it, I figured it was something like a silk and probably a cotton, which she agreed is probably correct. And based on the size of this cake that was wound, excuse me, I think there was somewhere between about 1,000 to 1,200 yards in this. I believe it's yards. And she agreed that that was probably right. So that's a lot, right? She had all these different cakes, all different colors. I loved this one because I loved, you know me, I love the oranges and the purples and some of the mauves, and just, I think this is going to be beautiful. And this is actually enough to make something pretty decent. She's also a weaver, I came to find out, and we had our little discussion about weaving. And this was weaving yarn that she found. So so I'm probably going to actually throw this on my loom and then make something really special and beautiful out of it. She did have some contrasting colors in the purple. I didn't get those. Maybe I should have. I might regret it. But I figured I probably have something at home that's going to do just fine. So I was able to, the Brit is laughing at me over here. I was able to at least find one yarn store so far. We are now staying in Brookings, Oregon. I don't know if you can see the beach there right behind us. We are staying at the Beachfront Inn. We were in Eureka last night, and we are heading up to Newport, Oregon, where we're going to be staying for a night, and then moving all the way up to Seattle, and then we're going to actually turn our road around and we're going to come back down. So we're spending a total of 21 days, 3 weeks on the road. I'm going to do my very, very, very best to find a yarn store here in Oregon. I do know there's some places in Portland, so we're going to hope for that. But we're also going to be spending time in Astoria, in Newport, and then Astoria, and then we're going into Seattle. Definitely got to go check out Little Knits. Oh, I'm very excited about that because I did find out that they have an online presence, but they also have an in-person store. Then we're going to go down into Portland, so I know there's some great stores there. And then we're going to go into Ashland, Oregon. I don't know if there's a store there. We'll have to find out. Then we're going to head back into California, and then we'll find some places. So hopefully we'll be able to find maybe at least 2 more yarn stores on this big journey that we're doing. So in my little podcast, I'm bringing you along on our journey. We have had some amazing, amazing stops. If you're interested in finding out like where we went and what we did, you can check out our sister channel, which is called Travels with Beauty and the Brit. It's a brand new channel, so we don't have a lot of subscribers. So please go check them out and subscribe. We have an all-electric car that we just purchased, and so we're doing this whole trip with our electric car. So there's some limitations that imposes on you based on, you know, where we can find charging stations and how far we can go. So we can't really veer off a lot over to the coast and a lot of those areas that are really beautiful, just because of the limitations with the charging. But we've actually done a pretty good job. We went to Hearst Castle, and we've been to Glass Beach in Fort Bragg, which was beautiful. I'll have to show you in another video the little glass pieces that I found. We found some great beaches. I found some beautiful driftwood to do some more craft projects with. We've been to Carmel, California. We went into Inverness, which is in the Point Reyes, which was beautiful and remote north of San Francisco. So we've really seen some just amazing parts of this country. And we were able to spend 2.5 days driving through the redwoods. And if you've never been there, you've never seen anything like that, it's just breathtaking. You've never seen anything in the world like that. And so you're driving through these redwoods, and they're just like thousands, if not millions of years old, and the ferns, it just feels like it's so Jurassic, like you're walking through this beautiful prehistoric. It's just breathtaking. It really, really is. So we spent 2.5 days going through all of that. And then now we're heading up the Oregon coast and going into some beautiful territory as well. So If you're interested in any of the places that we're going or that part of the trip, please check out our sister station, which is called Travels with Beauty and the Brit. I'll include a link below in the comments here. You can check us out. We're actually doing a video for just about every day that we're on the road, so you can see where we went, were we having some charging issues or not. Things have been going pretty smoothly so far. And then I'm doing, of course, my little side route here with the Knit for Brains, and this is my podcast. So, but I was able to, I have to show you, I started my new project, and this was the one that I had specifically kind of like carved out for this road trip. And this is by Tony Lipsy. So I brought my Bible, the Tunisian Crochet Handbook. Now, don't ask me what was in my brain when I thought, hey, let's learn a whole new crochet technique on the road. When we're not in our own space and we don't have everything we need. Although I must say I brought everything I need. I have everything I need. But let's learn a whole new crochet technique. Let's just do it. Like, why not? Don't ask me why I did that. But I did. And so I am learning Tunisian crochet. I'm self-teaching Tunisian crochet. I don't know. The original plan was to buy these mini skeins along the route, stopping at all these different yarn stores, and then taking them and putting together and making this beautiful scarf. I'm so glad that I had the forethought to bring yarn with me just in case, because otherwise I would be very discouraged and very distraught. I did get some yarn from Little Knits, which is out of Seattle. I did order them online and they did arrive, so I'm using the KLM. It's a sock weight yarn, and I have this pattern for this scarf called the Advent Tourist scarf. Advent is the primary word. It looks like this. It's by Tony Lipsy, the Adventurous scarf. And the reason she says it's Advent is because she used a yarn company, a box of yarn that actually was more like an Advent, an Advent calendar where you have a different chocolate or a different prize or gift every day. This particular Advent calendar would give you a mini skein of yarn every day. So she used that, and every day she opened it, and then she would, crochet that in, and then she would do another one into this Adventurous scarf. So, or you could say Adventurous. So that was my plan, was to buy yarn as I went along. Again, I thought, I probably should get yarn ahead of time just in case. Whew, so glad I did. So here I start. I have also found, because I like to be real with you, I like to be transparent, this is a very interesting technique. It's it's knitting and crocheting together. It's using one hook, so like a knitting hook or a knitting needle with a hook at the end, so like it's crochet. But instead of two knitting hooks or knitting needles, it's one hook as in a crochet hook. So all your stitches are on here. So it's kind of blending. I'm finding it's what I hate about knitting. Blending the worst of knitting with a crochet. Very interesting for me. I'm kind of in the love-hate stage of this, where I'm getting it. I'm kind of digging it, but I'm still hating it because I'm so new. My tension is my biggest issue. So I am loving, so the idea is that you transition from one color into the next. I am loving the stitch definition. Can you see that? There's some really cool stitch definition going in here, and I'm really liking that. My ends are super sloppy. I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to be transparent. I'm going to show you they're sloppy. And that has to do with the gauge. And I think that's just something that you're just going to learn as you get more and more experienced with. Because right now I'm in the increase stage. I increase up to, I think it's like 79 stitches. And then it levels out. And then at the end, it's going to kind of come back and it's going to decrease in again. So I'm still in the increase stage. Don't look at this side. I hate this side. This side's a little bit better. As I'm transitioning from this yellow and white mottled look into this like turquoise green and yellow part. But what I have found is, I'm drinking some tea from the Brit, is that this is a technique that I don't, with my crochet, I can just sit and kind of be mindless and watch TV and do whatever and be fine with it. I really have to focus on this, make sure I get all my stitches right. And so this is not a project that I can do in the car and mindless, and look at the scenery all around me. I can't do that with this, unfortunately. So I'm only able to do this project in the hotel room at night and in the morning. So that might limit the amount of time that I get to spend on this. But actually, that's okay, because then during the day, I get to enjoy the view, which is the redwoods and the coastal areas of California and Oregon and the glass beaches and all the different stuff. So it's probably the way you're supposed to do a craft, right? And not spend all your time in the car studying it. So this is the project I'm doing, and it's the Aventura Scar. It's by Tony Lipsey. I do have my book here, which was very smart to bring this along. And this is the project that I'm working on. So I'm going to come to you next. We're going to be into Newport. There's a store that I'm hopefully going to be able to check out. They close at 4, and they're just outside Newport, which is our next destination. So I might be able to get there in time. I may not. Fingers crossed. We'll just have to wait and see. And then I know I'm going to find one in Seattle, because we're going to go to Little Knits. And then we're going to go into Portland. So I'll be able to find maybe I'm thinking maybe 2 more stores that I can go in, check out, do a little bit of love to our LYSs, keep them going, keep them happy, and do our part. But that's what's happening. So we are in Brookings, Oregon. Gorgeous. I don't know if you guys can see that. Absolutely beautiful view right on the beach. We are at the beach shore Inn, I believe it is, in Brookings, Oregon. Beautiful part of the country. If you've never been here, or if you have been to any of these areas, just comment below and let me know. It's just beautiful, and the people are so friendly and so nice. We were sitting having dinner at a pub, and the couple sitting next to us just started chatting us up. Next thing you know, they literally invited us over to their home to see their view, which was amazing, and invited us in for a glass of wine. And we've now become friends, and we've exchanged numbers. Like, when does that kind of thing happen, right? Maybe where you live, not so much where we live, but it was such a great experience. And the Brit and I left going, not what we were expecting, but totally made it. So Brookings, thank you. We love you. It's been an amazing place to visit. Your people are wonderful and beautiful. And we look forward to all these other experiences that we're going to be having on this trip. So keep watching. This is Kimberly with Knit for Brains. This is my podcast. I think it's going to be episode 2 of my podcast as we go along on this epic electric road trip. And I am bringing along my Tunisian crochet project. Don't look at the ends, just look at the middle part. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon, very soon. Take care. Oh, one more thing I wanted to point out. Would this worry you? Would this kind of freak you out a little bit? If you're in a hotel and they give you like this tsunami evacuation map, I'm like, ooh. So, little known fact, the town of Crescent, Oregon in 1964 was literally obliterated with a tsunami. So I guess it makes sense that you're going to want to know how to get yourself out. But it gives you the distance, how much time you've got from the tsunami hits to when you're going to get nailed. I just thought that was a little interesting to find it in a hotel room. I haven't found the Bible yet, but I found this tsunami warning map and I was like, ooh, should I be... It's sort of like when you go on a plane, and they tell you how to put your mask on, everything else. I kind of feel like I need to be paying attention to this for some unknown yet unnerving reason. So I just wanted to point that out to you.